So, what's going on, guys? Today I am joined by Nikita Chen, who is a sacred freedom coach, and she's a bit of a health nut. And today we're going to be talking about life hacks and efficiency in life. So, Nikita, how are you doing?
Hi, Jack. Nice to meet you here. I'm doing great. Thank you.
So, I guess to start off with, what kind of got you into this career? What got you into the passion of being a health nut? Have you always been a health nut? And what do you do with your kind of coaching?
Yes. So it started all when I was young, and I saw my parents were struggling. My dad was struggling with his alcohol abuse, let's say it like that. And my mom she still has a mental disease. She's bipolar and still takes the medicine for it. And I just saw them from the young age that she was very sick. I never knew my mother without the meds, basically. So there were like ups and downs in her mood and depression, and then she was happy and then she was sad. So I always struggle like seeing my parents having these problems and health problems, and from that I became quite passionate to know everything about food and maybe what food can do for you to heal it in some way. And something important to mention is that my dad passed away when I was 22, and he was very young. He was 58, and he got cancer, liver cancer that spread to his stomach. So yeah, that's got it all, like, turn up the motor to know like how what can I do? Maybe if I knew it before and I knew all this knowledge, maybe I could stop that all. So that's where my passion comes from, and it's very insatiable. I'm just like, yeah, nonstop
Nice.
learning more.
And in terms of like, where did you start from? Did you kind of start reading about kind of how you can optimize your health, or did you kind of go into courses? How did you get started on the journey?
Well, when I was 8, I got from friends, um, via friends, she got this whole literature and books about food and vitamins and all of that. So I started reading that. And I was 8 years old. So I was reading up all of that, and I started to buy supplements. Um, but that was like pretty cool, because when I started to take supplements, I felt something in my body happening. Even though I was eating very healthy, my mom is like all home cooked food, but I felt the energy that like the complexion of vitamin B will give me. And there was a time that I got lazy, so I didn't I didn't take it, and I got sick straight away, and I felt lethargic and tired. So that led on to know more about it. And from the whole teenage years, I was not really interested in at school. All I was reading was health books and literature. Yeah, reading up all about how to improve my body. And that has led on to, first you start with the body, but then you start to feel good. So then what is more that you can do and get out of life? And slowly it turns into life coaching. But I first was doing health coaching. Yeah.
Nice. And then, like you mentioned, the supplements. So you got vitamin B12. Is there anything else that you kind of take that you recommend?
Yeah, I take a whole complex of vitamin Bs, not 100% of the daily value. No, you take more. Like you see, like some athletes, or bodybuilders, they take more vitamin Bs because it generates the methylation of energy. And so
Hmm.
you really literally feel it. And I'm a vegan, sometimes vegetarian, because people like to put some eggs in it. And sometimes I like
Yeah.
cheesecake, the cheese. Oh, my favorite cheese. So I do take extra vitamin B12, yeah, and omega, but plant-based omegas.
Have you always been vegan, or is it more kind of a recent
Yeah,
transition?
it's actually recent. So mm, when I was into yoga very much, 2016, I decided that, yeah, just become vegan after a huge like a detox of 21 days, which was only liquid, kind of water fast liquid.
Oh, amazing.
No solid food, 21 days. I hold it, and I thought, why not try out vegan? And the whole mindset was, okay, I tried out for one day. Each day I will just look whatever. And I told myself it's not forever. And so this is the best way to keep a healthy habit. And up till now, I never had the feeling to eat meat anymore.
Amazing. Do you think for you at the moment, optimized health is being a vegan, or do you think you might transition back into eating meat later on, or is it kind of you're seeing how you go?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I always tell to people and my clients as well that it's really really like how you feel. Your body has the intelligence and the knowledge and the wisdom to know what it wants. So I see a lot of vegans for years that that after like 10 years they start to eat fish again, for example, because that's what the body is calling for.
Mm,
So I definitely am a proponent for that, and I never say never. So but for now I feel really good, and in terms of keeping my health, my body healthy and young and everything, I do feel like I will stay, yeah, plant-based.
amazing. That's quite funny you said that, because in 2016 is when I turned vegan. So I went vegan
Really?
for 3 years, and then I think end of 2019. Well, to be fair, the start of 2019, I felt the urge to go back to meat. I kind of put it off, and then eventually I transitioned back into it. But I know what you mean. There's like periods where like the first 2 years of being vegan were amazing, felt amazing, and then I felt the transition back, and then now I'm at a phase where like I don't feel like eating too much meat, but at the same time I don't feel like I want to turn vegan fully yet. But it's based on how your body feels in that sense, right?
Yes, yes, definitely. And it
Mm.
also got his phases and cycles. Whatever you're doing something, maybe you have a hard time, you have lots of work, and the bodies can be stressed, and it wants to ground. So most meat foods are heavy, and it grounds you. So
Mm,
it's just what your body has the wisdom. Yeah.
amazing. And then in terms of your coaching, so the Sacred Freedom coaching, what does that entail? What do you help clients? Is it just health? Is it kind of coaching in other areas of life? Is it all combined? What do you do?
Yeah, it is all combined. As I said in the beginning, it from from coaching on health, it turns out to be like I'm opening up so many resources for my clients and energy, and they want more out of life. And then it turns out to be life coaching. So life coaching is something that I've been doing for the past last 5 years. And when people reach out to me to do the Sacred Freedom coaching, there's always health part entailed, of course. You know, you cannot separate the body from your mind. You cannot separate these two. And what is Sacred Freedom coaching? It's basically I stand for um, that everybody has a certain way and what they think about how they want to live life. And for me, freedom is so important. What I'm talking about freedom here is like freedom to do what you want, where
Hmm.
you want to be, how you want to live your life, but also freedom in the tiniest thing. Like you feel free in your body, you're flexible. And so that's, for example, yoga will give you, or stretching. You have the freedom to not be ashamed when you walk on a beach. So, but that's also like discipline. You need to practice every day, do the healthy habits, eat healthy, practice exercise. So that's also freedom, like freedom in your own body, in your own skin. And to make it more complete, freedom is also to have a like a lifestyle that match that up. Like if you don't really like to go stay in a boring job, and it's just going on and on forever between four walls, you don't like your boss, and so you change it up, but it also needs, you need courage. And so that's what I guide my clients to have that sacred freedom in all areas of your life.
Amazing. And in terms of your, like, let's say one of your clients you're working with at the moment or in the past, what have you kind of helped them go through? What transition have you helped them, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, sure. So I can give you a very good example. A past client of mine, she was she was kind of lost in her, she didn't have any degree,
Hmm.
but she was like she was a babysitter for friends and family, and she was like having really really low confidence, no self-confidence, and all of that. And in just like 5-6 sessions she decided that, okay, I'm gonna book a ticket to Southeast Asia. I'm gonna go around all these islands in Thailand. And later on, she told me that that has sparked her confidence a lot, because she was always afraid to reach out to people, to reach out to guys. And at that in that journey, she yeah she went out and just step up to guys and talk to them. And secondly, her English really improved. So now she's not afraid to go around in the world. And also she found her calling.
Nice. And then in terms of like helping your clients, in terms of the health stuff, do you kind of create like a bespoke kind of nutrition plan, or is it more about finding out what they want and helping them kind of move into that direction?
Yeah, so that depends on what type of person I have. If I feel that they have problems with, those rules, strictly rules, I won't do that. What I give then is actually a different bespoke program that is more suitable for their habits and their mind. Because if you push too much, they won't. If you push too much, they will not gonna listen to anything what you're saying. So with those people, I will start with slowly healthy habits each time. Like we start with water, and next week we start to lower the carbs, and slowly by slowly. But then there are also like those A-type person, very ambitious. They just want it all
Yeah.
and want to be pushed. So that part is very exciting for me to work with, because they will get a really nice list of how to do what to do. But it's always suited for that person's body, and I never do anything unless I get some health markers checked. So they do the blood work, they do the sleep cycle. I want to know how they sleep, when they sleep, all of that, and then I start to do
Awesome.
the bespoke. Yeah.
In terms of health markers, you mentioned like the sleep cycle, blood pressure. Is there anything else you kind of look at?
Yeah, so some people say, okay, you start with the food, right? Food is definitely like one of the most important markers. Like you cannot exercise your way out into health if you eat very poorly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, so people focus on that too much, I think. But the underlying the base of that, the platform, and it's actually sleep. So first, you can exercise your way out. You cannot exercise your way out of food. Okay, let's talk about food. But if you sleep poorly, no matter how healthy you eat, it doesn't work that well. It doesn't work that well.
Mm,
So I would start with sleep. I want to know how you sleep. Yeah.
amazing. And then in terms of your own kind of, you're vegan at the moment. Um, how are you monitoring your health? I know we spoke about you doing intermittent fasting. How is that helping you at the moment?
It's helping me. And again, I have to say about the freedom. So I do intermittent fasting. And because I'm doing it for like, wow, I think more than 5 years now, it gives me the freedom to actually eat what I want.
Yeah.
Like if I want to eat junk food, I can, and nothing will like having so much damage to my body. And
Yes.
it corrected, especially when you fast, because
Yeah.
then all the detox processes in your body. And especially for women, we never want to gain weight, right?
Yeah.
So that works very well. Yeah.
And in terms of that intermittent fasting, like just for anyone that doesn't know what it is, could you go into kind of more depth? Like,
Yeah,
what
for
is it?
sure. Yeah. So intermittent fasting, sometimes actually it's maybe a confusing word. It's actually time-based eating. So you
Mhm.
actually check out when you eat and when you don't eat, all the hours of in a day, which is 24 hours. And it's a time restricted eating. So you decide how many hours you want to eat and not eat. But why it's so important is that normal people just eat 3 meals a day, or maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And so every 3 hours they have every 3 waking hours they have something in their mouth and in their stomach. So you basically never get your intestines and your digestive system a rest.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
And in terms of that fast, I know like you can do different hours, can't you? Like you can do 16, 8. What are you doing at the moment? I think you mentioned.
I'm ideally to do 16 fasting, and the rest of the 8 hours I have time to eat. So why is that important? Because like after 12 hours, you have already like digested the food that you took in.
Fine. Okay. Yeah.
It's actually metabolized, you're using that up. Then the 14, 13, 14 hours, you still have something in your liver and glycogen.
Hmm.
And basically what I found out, and I also have a meter, like an apparatus to measure if I'm in a fat burning mode or a carb burning mode.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
With me, it's after 14 hours that I start to burn my
Oh,
fat cells.
interesting. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So if you ideally you do 16 because then you have like 2 hours of efficient fat burning mode. I see also here sometimes people doing like 20, 24. So they fast for 20 hours.
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, but I get sometimes crazy with that because I do feel hungry.
yeah.
And so you always need to listen to your body. Whenever you feel hungry, start eating. Yeah.
Fine, okay. And then with that fast, are you drinking water or is it more like a dry fast where there's no water?
Yes, there's water for
There is
sure.
water. Fine, okay, yeah. Awesome. In terms of kind of going down that route of health, is there anything else that you find at the moment is helping you be more efficient, be more productive?
I'm using the Lumen device, this one.
Okay, nice. Yeah. What is that? Just for anyone that can't
One,
see.
yeah, Lumen device, Lumen Lumen. You use your breath, so you you breathe in, you breathe out. You're
Yes, yeah.
exhaling out into it, and it measures the CO2.
Ah, okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and that tells you whether you're in fat burning or in carb burning mode. So I do
Ah,
that
fine. Yeah, yeah.
morning. I wake up in the morning and I measure myself, and then I see like where I am at. Yeah. So that's a cool life hack. It's
Yeah.
not about too much about focus about losing weight or losing fat. It's more about that when you're. I'm so pumped and passionate about like being in a fat burning mode
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
me like the high. I'm super focused, my mental clarity and everything, and it helps me to be productive in life. And that's also actually freedom, right? When
Yes,
you're
yeah,
like so productive and you have inspiration, sometimes you write content and it comes just in a few minutes.
yeah.
Why like struggle so hard and you have writer's block like for an hour if you can just produce something in a couple of minutes?
Yeah. So I
So
guess
that
in
gives
that way, you're like chasing that fat burning mode for productivity.
yes, productivity, efficiency. I'm all about that.
Amazing. And do you find like, say you are in that kind of fat burning mode and you start doing exercise, do you find that one, you obviously might burn fat faster, but then do you also find that you get more fatigued? Like, how do you find the balance there, if that makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, I think I hear what you're going, where you're going to. Yes, definitely. So I definitely get fatigued. I think it's not suitable for if you want to do, hardcore weightlifting
Hmm.
because when you're in a fasting mode, you're not really able to go the length.
Yeah.
Even in cardio, right? When you do cardio, you have to run, then you should have load yourself up with carbs and then do it. You perform better before an
Yeah.
exercise. But if you're in fasting mode, no. But what I do is I'm not so much of weights and gym girl. I'm more into yoga
Nice.
and yeah. So
And in terms of women, now you obviously work with a lot of women. Do you find they have a lot of preconceptions in terms of fasting, in terms of kind of the nutrition? And if so, what do you find is like the most common misconception they have? I know like a lot of women think, if they start lifting weights, they're going to get really muscular, but which isn't the case. Is there anything else like you've come across?
yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, the misconception, for example, what you just mentioned, that women think they're gonna get bulky, and but genetically, it's almost impossible. They're not
Yeah.
made for to
Yeah.
become bulky. So that's one of the misconception. Another misconception I get a lot from women is that they think, yeah, well, because that's the breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and why
Mm.
should I
Yeah.
skip that? And I tell them, well, you don't skip it because as the word says, break the fast.
Yeah.
Who said when you break the break fast have to be in the morning? It's whatever the first meal is,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And so, but there's a way around it. If they love breakfast, because some people really, really, the whole the body system and in terms of their timing, they really like to eat in the morning. So you do
Mhm.
that. But then the last dinner should be a little bit moved up earlier to get the most benefit of the time fasting. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to kind of touch upon before we kind of wrap up? Any last
Uh,
words? Anything that you
yeah,
feel?
like
you want to?
I'm so excited about the time that we live in
Yes,
with AI and all of that, the whole technology. Um, yeah, I'm just grateful that I am born in this decennia, and that's also like something that I'm passionate about, is that gives me freedom. Like you can
amazing. Yeah,
use so much about automation, technology to make your life easier, and it helps you to save time. And with that time left over for me, or time saved, I can do other stuff and enjoy time as
amazing.
well.
Do you feel like the downside of AI could be that actually some people are not getting into their health as much, or do you feel like that's also up? You get the ups and downs, don't you, with AI? Do you feel that's a down, or do you feel you're not really worried about that?
I think it's something that it magnifies it, the root problem. Like with everything, if you have like
Yeah,
too much money, then it will just magnify the thing that was already there, but it's just, like the root problem is still there. So, yeah, do you mean like with all the AI and technology that people become lethargic and lazy and just stay at home in front of the screen, or what do
yeah,
you mean?
precisely that. Yeah, precisely that.
Yeah, precisely that. Yeah. And but on the other hand, you have also amazing devices that you can
Yeah,
check up on yourself, and with the apps that track your record and calling you with an alarm to stand up and move and all sorts of things. And yeah, even with this ring that I'm using, this called the Aura ring.
I've heard
It,
about that. Yeah,
yeah, it's amazing, and it also warns you to do stuff and wake up and stand up and all of that. Yeah,
nice,
amazing.
fantastic. Where can people find you? Just wrapping up, where can people find you? Are you on Instagram, Facebook, and if you are, what are they?
Yes, so on Facebook, I'm to be found on Nikita Chen. On
How do you spell
Instagram,
that?
and
Just for
Nikita,
people that.
yeah. So Nikita, and Chen is Chen. And you can find me on Instagram at Miss Nikita Chen as well.
Amazing. Thank you for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Jack.
No worries.